Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to our channel today. It's great to have you. Welcome back to all of our subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding us for that very first time, welcome. Please subscribe, please hit that like button, consider becoming a member. And then to learn more about me, learn more about my company and how we can help take your business to that next level, check out the links below. In the links below, you'll find offers in there for, free streaming service. We've got our gym management playbook. If you're looking for funding, if you're looking for how to get that big promotion to drive as much traffic as possible, you'll find all that in there. So take a look at it. Hopefully we'll chat soon. So with that said, let's get into our topic today, and it's 10 common gym sales recruiting and hiring mistakes. 10 common gym sales recruiting and hiring mistakes. Because at the end of the day, our staff is everything. You might have the nicest facility, nicest location, you got all these great things, but it's going to come down to the people, and ultimately the people, that is our brand when you get right down to it. And the way we attract people is, through our culture and what we do. So there's a lot that goes into this. So I want to talk about some of the more common recruiting and hiring mistakes that I see. And you can do an evaluation and say, hey, are we making some of these same mistakes? Are we doing a pretty good job at this? But the better we can get at this, the higher your revenue production is going to go. So number one, I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. When you start this process, how do you know you found it if you don't know what you're looking for? Okay, I can give you some things that I look for, kind of in a general sense. I look for folks that have that winning attitude. They're kind of solutions oriented. It's not like, well, here's what's wrong, here's what's wrong, here's what's wrong. They got that winning attitude, that desire to win, that passion, that urgency. And you can find this in a lot of other things, when you talk to them, if they don't have a background in sales or a background in the fitness industry. The second thing I look for is I look for work ethic. Is this person a worker? Do they want to work? And what I talk about, when I talk about work ethic, I'm talking about, answering yes to this question. Is what I'm doing right now going to result in a sale? And so I'll ask numerous questions, relative to, their background to get a sense of, what kind of work ethic do they have. And the third thing I look for is someone who's coachable. I want someone who's got an open mind, willing to learn, someone who can be taught. And also when I talk about coachable, I'm looking for somebody that, is willing to step outside their comfort zone. It's very easy just to, stay right here. We want someone who's really willing to push those boundaries and, continue to try to get better. But know exactly what you're looking for. I remember when I first became manager, and I really didn't know anything, and I was hiring, and we were placing ads, and essentially I gave a basic description of the job, just real simple, easy, and I knew what I wanted. Okay, people that understood that, but enthusiasm is a must in this selling position. That was my line, right? Enthusiasm is a must in this selling position, because I wanted people who had a smile on their face, they were enthusiastic, they just loved being there, because I knew that, the basics of it, I could train that part of it. Okay, so I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. So before you start this process, know exactly what you want, and it could differ. Depending on, if you're hiring a COO, okay, or if you're hiring an entry-level person, there's a big difference there, right? And everything in the middle. Number two, I hired people I liked and ignored those that I didn't. I hired people that I liked and ignored those that I didn't. And, who do we like? Normally it's people who are just like us, okay, is who we like. And, the truth is we want to surround ourselves with people, depending on what you're hiring for, but we want to surround ourselves with people that complement, our weaknesses. If, hey, we're not so good in this, I need somebody that's good in this area, okay? And so don't just hire people you like, give some consideration to everybody that comes in, know what your criteria is. Just because they're not like you doesn't mean they can't be highly effective. And the truth is, if everybody in that gym was exactly like you, you'd have a big hole in your production in most cases. Okay, so don't just hire people you like, and don't ignore the ones that you think you don't. Number three, you hear what you want to hear. This one happens a lot. Now, here's why I think it happens. Is too often we hire people when we need them. And all we do is we fill a slot. We hire them when we need them. And if they say, well, yes, I can sell, yes, I can come in, yes, I'll do this, you're hired. Okay? You simply hear what you want to hear. Because we're filling a slot. All we're doing is just plugging them in. And the thing that I want to suggest here is really in the big picture. You want to get a recruiting plan of action in place where you're always interviewing. You're always promoting. You've got a job opportunity on your website. You got a whole email newsletter that goes out every month. You're adding emails every day. You're talking to people every day. You're growing this database, just like, you're growing a member database. Okay? And so you don't want to be in a situation where you hear what you want and you just fill a slot. It's not what you want. We want to be getting better every time because remember, your people are your brand. Okay? Number 4, I didn't look for flaws. I didn't look for flaws. And, sometimes we're so anxious to hire somebody. We see all the good in them. We don't look at, what's that downside? Okay? And, some of these things, when you say we didn't look for flaws, kind of what I would mean, maybe there's an experienced person who's applying for a job that they're maybe overqualified for. And one of the potential flaws there is, they're going to maybe get dissatisfied quickly. They're not going to make the money they want. When another position comes up somewhere else that's more suited to their experience, they're going to leave. So, so look at the flaws. Don't look the other way on that because, it's your brand, right? This is how people are going to perceive you, and it's how you're going to grow your company. And you don't want a lot of turnover. One of the things that equates to a lot of turnover in staff is a lot of turnover in members. Many clubs that maintain that same staff and a good staff, right kind of approach, they have a tendency to have better retention numbers than those that don't. Number 5, I didn't read between the lines. I didn't read between the lines. In other words, what's the person really saying? When they're telling you, hey, they're looking for a career in this, they've always wanted to do this, this is an ideal scenario for them, what are they really trying to tell you? And the thing I would say is, probe with questions. Probe with questions. For you folks that are Gym Success members, we have here, you have access to a complete interview guide, a complete interview questionnaire of all the questions that you can ask during an interview. So, consider becoming a member. You can have access to that, and be happy to get that over to you. But we want to probe. It's not a whole lot different than when a customer comes in your gym and they say they want to lose 20 pounds. They've been thinking about it for 10 years. Well, you got to read between the lines here a little bit. What's been the holdup? What's been the obstacle? Okay, because it's not like we don't have opportunities to do that. Same thing with job opportunities. They're talking about different things they like, different things they want. Well, why haven't they done it? Probe a little bit. Don't just accept it at face value. Number 6, focusing too much on experience. Focusing too much on experience. Sometimes. When you get experience, you also get the problems that go with that. Sometimes you get folks that aren't coachable. Sometimes you get folks that aren't satisfied. Sometimes you get folks that want to leave as soon as something doesn't go their way. A lot of times what I look for, and I don't mind experience, meaning if you get the right situation, experience means you're going to get a quick ramp up. And that's what I like about it. And sometimes that's kind of what you need, okay? Just make sure you know where you're at. But, the thing about hiring and that whole experience thing, what I like to do is I like to hire people who are, whatever position I'm hiring them for, I like for it to be a step up from what they've done before. I like for it to be a step up from what they've done before. I don't normally like it to be a lateral position. I certainly don't like them going down. And so sometimes that experience can kind of get in the way there a little bit. I want folks, kind of like I talked earlier, they got that winning attitude, they got that work ethic, they're coachable, and they're really looking for that opportunity. And what I would love to be able to do is give them an opportunity that they would otherwise never get. Something very special. And then let's really work on this to make them as good as they can possibly be. Number 7, hiring renters and not owners. Hiring renters and not owners. You don't want folks that are just renting. They're just there for now. What we're looking for is folks that want to do this for a long time. They want to be a part of something. And I tell you where I see this the most, okay? I see this the most when we start to hire, like for first of the year, January, February, and March. A lot of folks kind of come out of the woodwork because they see it, hey, this is the busy selling season. Hey, I can make a lot of money. I can do well. I can have success. And they're kind of into it for short term, okay? And it's kind of common. We want to make sure, at least to the extent that we can, that we've got folks that are in it for the long term with us, folks that are going to be with us, be part of the brand, be part of the culture, help us grow and develop the company. Number 8, doing all the talking. This is no different, really, than making a membership sale. If you do talk, tell, you don't really find anything out about the person. Okay, what we want to do is ask all the right questions. You can use our interview guide for that. We want to ask all the right questions and let them talk. We want to learn as much about them as we can, because the obligation here, really, it's 2 different areas here. A is we're trying to find someone that can benefit the company, help grow the company, provide something for our members to help them get the results they're looking for, but also for the person we hire. There's an obligation there too. Let's don't put them in a position they're not suited for or something they're not going to stick with. Okay, we want them to have success too. All right. Number 9, not following up on references. Not following up on references is one of the recruiting and hiring mistakes that I see. And references, former clients, former boss, former colleagues. Those are the 3 that I like. I want the former employer. Okay, I want the former client, and I want the former colleague. I want to hear what different people have to say. Okay, and I'm going to talk to each one of them. Okay, see if everybody's saying the same thing. You got them all coming from different angles. The character of that person, which hopefully should shine through at each level. So follow up on references. Check into these folks. Sometimes we don't do it. We know what they're going to say. Well, that's the reason I like to go to different categories. The employer, the client, the colleague. And number 10, and maybe I could make this number 1 if I wanted to. I underestimated the importance of onboarding. Underestimating the importance of onboarding. Don't just hire folks and have them go to work. Have them figure it out. Okay, make sure you've got an onboarding process, and in a perfect world, what I'd like to see them be able to do is they walk in to go to work that first day, they know what they're doing. They know how to answer the phone properly, take a telephone inquiry, disposition a guest, take a tour, give a price presentation, get a referral, do the second sale, work that member floor, do follow-up phone calls. They understand your software, they understand all of that. Okay, make sure they're ready to go. We want to create an environment that allows a motivated person to act. So don't underestimate the importance of onboarding. You can use this channel to do that. You can have them, view numerous videos, and you can have discussions about it to make sure that they are prepared, at least on the surface. We want them to have success, because when they come in and don't have success, that confidence takes a hit, that self-esteem takes a hit. That's when you start to lose folks. All right, so take a look at them. The 10 common sales, recruiting, and hiring mistakes that I see. How can we fix it if we have problems? How can we do better? How can we refine them? Your people are your brand. Your people are your brand. If we can really drill home on that and understand that, we can really multiply our success in the industry. So folks, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. I appreciate you being here at the channel today. And if you've not yet done so, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Consider becoming a member. And to learn more about me, my company, in a variety of ways that you can increase sales, increase performance, get more traffic into your gym, check out those links below. And we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.